So he should try and make it work. I think it'd probably be better for the country if he didn't, but for his family, he has to try. For the country, it would be better if he separated from her, never spoke to her again, returned to the United Kingdom, repented, asked all his family for forgiveness for all the horrible things he published about them, and rejoined the fold and started working again for a living rather than just sponging off of his family remotely.
Breaking right now, the war between the Trump family and Prince Harry and Meghan Markle has slowly but surely really ratcheted up.
What do you mean by that?
Ahead of the election and the potential of Donald Trump being president and having the possibility to deport Prince Harry if he did indeed lie on his entry documents to enter the USA. That is something, of course, the Heritage Foundation is desperately trying to find out.
Come on now, dog.
Appealing the latest decision in the US courts. But now Eric Trump, Donald's son, has weighed into the debate, saying that Harry is the black sheep of the royal family and claiming, correctly, that Meghan Markle is very unpopular.
What?
Father Calvin Robinson, who has been with Donald Trump this week, is going to weigh in shortly. First, though, here's what Eric Trump had to say.
It's one kind of black sheep that doesn't exactly know where he is, led by, I think, a wife who's pretty unpopular.
I said, wait a minute, wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Probably both here and over where you are. And it's actually sad because I do think one of the greatest, one of the most beautiful things in the UK is actually the monarchy and what it stands for and what it symbolizes and this family. And I mean, it's gorgeous. And by the way, the United States loves it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Every single time there's a royal event, a positive, weddings, etc., or horrible, right? In terms of maybe somebody passing, it's covered on every station. We love it for some reason. People are fascinated by it. But then you have kind of the saga of people who've just gone off the deep end, and it's actually sad to watch. But I think people can differentiate the two sides. I think they can differentiate this from this, which everybody loves. And so I don't give a damn if he did drugs, if he did what. It means nothing. But I can tell you, my father and our entire family has tremendous respect for the monarchy.
Wow.
So, of course, Father Calvin Robinson, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, we know they're massive Democrats. What's been really interesting is they haven't weighed in on this campaign. I believe it's because they are now so unpopular. Actually, if anything, it would probably drag down Kamala Harris. But what's interesting about this is it shows that the Trump family certainly haven't forgotten the criticism from Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And do you think that there are genuine reasons for Harry to fear the sanctity of his right to stay in the US if indeed it is proven that he lied on his immigration documents?
Good question.
Oh, absolutely. I think the Heritage Foundation is a fantastic organization, and if they can get to the bottom of this, that'll be good for everyone because it's about equality under the law. Just because he's a prince of the United Kingdom does not mean he can come to America illegally. If he lied on his entry forms, he should be deported.
Yes, exactly.
I've said this many times, we should deport foreign criminals. That includes here in America too. And so, yes, Harry should be worried, but I think he's got more important things to worry about right now, such as keeping his family together and or resolving the situation between him and Meghan.
Good job.
Yeah, what do you make of that, Calvin? Because this week, even the local newspaper in Montecito, the Montecito Journal, has reported on the growing rift.
I think it's quite sad, but I said at the beginning, it was a mistake, but he's committed to that now. So they're in a lifelong, indissoluble union. They are husband and wife. That can never be separated. If they do separate, then that means he cannot marry again. And well, I suppose she probably could because she doesn't care about that kind of thing. But it means
he is her second husband.
But
from a religious perspective, though, given that he is one of the heirs to the throne and he's a member of the Church of England, even though she is proven to be such a despicable human being, you would still say, Harry, you've got to try and make this work?
Boy.
His duty is to his wife and his children, absolutely. So he should try and make it work. I think it'd probably be better for the country if he didn't, but for his family, he has to try. For the country, it would be better if he separated from her, never spoke to her again, returned to the United Kingdom, repented, asked all his family for forgiveness for all the horrible things he published about them, and rejoined the fold and started working again for a living rather than just sponging off of his family remotely.
Okay.
There was more from Eric Trump, Father Calvin. This was the interview with the Daily Mail, of course. Let's have a watch.
Truthfully, I don't give a damn about Prince Harry, and I don't think this country does either. I will say that, my father loved the Queen, and I think the monarchy is like an incredibly beautiful thing.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
We've known the King forever. In fact, when I was just digging through a photo album not too long ago, and I came across a great picture of him literally with my father. I'm probably 6 years old in the lobby of Mar-a-Lago, in the front entrance of Mar-a-Lago, and it's special. I mean, we've known him forever. The monarchy is a beautiful thing. I think Harry's done a huge detriment to it.
Are you serious?
He moved to the U.S. I'm not sure how well received he's been over here. He doesn't really exactly know, I don't think, where he is. But if you kind of cast him aside from that family, the family's been incredible.
Interesting, isn't it? The black sheep of the family. And is that how they are now viewed in the US, Calvin?
It's mixed. So you find the liberals, you find the Dems, and they will be fans of Harry and Meghan, but you find the ordinary people, and they won't like them just as much as we dislike them. So it's very similar to what we see in the UK. The liberals side with the liberals, and the normal people side with the normal people.
What do you mean by that?
But what I find interesting about Eric's comments there is that he's saying how much the Americans love the royal family, and that's so true. I spoke, was it yesterday, day before yesterday, I spoke on stage just before Trump got on, and I was saying to everyone, I hail from your motherland, and there is that kind of, in a joking way, but there is that kind of paternal relationship we have with the US, in that they do look at our monarchy in a kind of longing way, right? So they understand what they once had, and they were escaping the tyranny of the establishment. But now they've found that they still have an establishment, and it's still tyrannous, right? But they don't have the monarchy anymore. So they lost some of the treasures of it whilst escaping for freedom. And I think there will always be that relationship between Great Britain and America.
I know, but it gets so confused, though, doesn't it? The whole thing.
Okay.
When you have these institutions trying to embrace woke ideology, which is something that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were trying to push the late Queen Elizabeth II to.
What?
Now, Queen Elizabeth II, Calvin, as we both know, she wasn't having any of it. She just wasn't interested in their wokery. She wasn't interested in their compromise solutions. You're either in or you're out. And she would never have opened the door to discussions like reparations, for example.
Okay.
But the issue is that King Charles and Prince William feel like they're under so much pressure because of what were completely untrue claims from Harry and Meghan. They've admitted as much now. There was no royal racism. There was no institutional racism within the royal family. That was disgusting. But what it did is it set up the royal family to be on a really difficult path, particularly in the Caribbean. And we've seen over the past few weeks, Calvin, that is now very difficult for the royal family because you do get this constant drumbeat for reparations. And remember, it was King Charles who said, we need to have the discussion now about slavery. Well, no, we don't. We got rid of slavery in the UK or in the British Empire, and we paid it back in 2015. So why actually have that discussion now? I just feel like there's this real caustic wokery which has started to seep into some of the language of Charles and William. I'm not criticizing them for it as such. I think they feel they have to do it. But I would say it was a folly.
Yeah, we have the greatest monarchy in the world historically. It's one of the best institutions in the world, and other countries look at our monarchy and think, how did they manage to hold on to that? You look at some European countries that still do have monarchy. They're not nothing like ours. They sit in an office like this, like ordinary people. They've lost all the pomp, they've lost the ceremony, and they've lost the prestige and the tradition and the heritage of it all. And it's just become almost another political position. Whereas we've managed to maintain a lot of the good treasures of the past through our monarchy.
Are you sure about that?
And so it would be a great shame to lose that. But what we see happening with the monarchy is very similar to what we see happening with the Church of England. And I think we have to remain relevant. How can we be relevant? Let's do what they're doing over there. And so, just as the Church of England chases wokeness, the monarchy is looking down that direction too and saying, can we update? Can we get, with the times? No, don't get with the times, because you are not about the times. You're bigger than the times.
What do you mean by that?
You are our link to 1066 and our link to 957. Like, you are our link to our history, the foundation of our country. We've always had an anointed king, and I don't think we always will have, but it's nice to maintain it for as long as we can. And the moment they drop the pomp, the ceremony, the tradition, the heritage, and the values, and the moment they take on board wokery and modernity, they become irrelevant.
What?
So in chasing relevancy, they will make themselves irrelevant.
Yeah, no, I think that's such a good warning. But again, I stress, Calvin, so much of this has been out of their hands because, let's be honest, I mean, Harry's an embarrassment now. And Charles may not be prepared to admit it, but William certainly does. And I'll give you the example recently of him releasing these pictures of him surfing and video of him surfing.
Nice.
Now, that actually wasn't even in the ocean, by the way, Calvin. It was in a man-made sort of lagoon, and it's run by Kelly Slater, who's the famous former Baywatch star and surfer. And fine, but this is something a D-list celebrity does to show off.
What do you mean by that?
Prince Harry is now 40 years old, so I find this very juvenile and very embarrassing. But the bigger point is he not degrading the entire monarchy with these sorts of antics?
He is, because he drags the monarchy down to that celebrity culture level again.
Yeah.
The monarchy is supposed to be above that. It's a standard we aspire to. It upholds the entire nation. It's not just, oh, where did they go on a holiday and which other celebrities do they know? Harry's been in LA for too long. He's a part of that culture now. And I think Meghan's dragged him down to her level, unfortunately.
Here we go again.
Yeah, I know. Now, look, in terms of the legal situation, Calvin, it is developing, by the way, because Newsweek has broken the story that Prince Harry's visa drugs headache isn't over yet because the Heritage Foundation have applied to overturn the Biden administration's victory in a lawsuit seeking the publication of his immigration papers. Now, we know, Calvin, that the judiciary in the US is very different to the UK.
Okay.
And what is likely to cause trouble for Harry is a Donald Trump presidency. I mean, I can say right now, there's absolutely no chance of this going anywhere if Kamala Harris remains president, because she's on board. She's totally on board with Harry and Meghan.
Come on now, dog.
But all of a sudden, if there are some key judges appointed by a new President Trump, I think all of a sudden there is a possibility that at least we will get the documents unsealed, which will be very embarrassing for Harry, because while none of us know for certain, it feels completely unbelievable to think that he would have written on an immigration form when you're wanting to move to a country. Boring. Oh, yeah. I took loads of illegal drugs with Monica from Friends. It just wouldn't happen, would it? But first, we've partnered with Gundry MD to share this information with you. Would you believe me if I told you inside your pantry right now is one of the healthiest foods on the planet? Yeah.
Shut up, bro.
Yes, it's true. And it's not some weird, trendy superfood. Spoiler alert, it's olive oil. You've probably used to cooking with it, but there are countless ways to use olive oil to help yourself look and feel younger. For example, olive oil is a natural way to help you achieve a more youthful appearance. Besides helping you look younger on the outside, it's a fantastic tool for your insides as well.
Yeah, right.
According to Dr. Stephen Gundry, a famous cardiothoracic surgeon, nutrition expert, and health advocate, you should get as much high-quality olive oil into your daily routine as possible, whether it's taking a shot of it daily or keeping a bottle of it in your bathroom medicine cabinet. But what kind of olive oil is best for your health?
I don't know.
Well, any olive oil can give you some benefits, but if you're looking to get the best results, it matters a lot which one you pick. The olive oil industry is huge, you see. You can tell by the number of olive oil brands you can see at the grocery store, and you can bet they're not all made with the consumer in mind. And many brands may even cut corners one way or another to increase profits.
What do you mean by that?
When Dr. Gundry came to that realization, he was appalled. But some olive oils are so powerful, it may only take a few tablespoons a week to see these incredible health benefits.
Wow.
So how can you tell between an olive oil that can be a health booster and which one isn't up to par? Well, in an effort to answer that question, Dr. Gundry has decided to take a stand and release his personal research and findings.
Good job.
This video has gone viral since its release, and it's important you see it so you can start benefiting immediately. So you can watch the video right now by going to getolive1.com/outspoken, or you can just click on the link in the description box below.
We don't do that here.
So that's getolive1.com/outspoken, or you can just click in the description box below on the link. People who have taken his advice have shared their results with him, saying the olive oil they bought after learning his simple rules have helped change their lives. So make sure you go to getolive1.com/outspoken or click on the link in the description box below this video. But now, back to the show. So he is probably most likely going to be exposed as a liar, which we know he is, but this obviously is more serious.
He should never have written that book in the first place.
No.
That was his biggest mistake. All of the details that have come out from that book were just embarrassing for him and his family. It's dragging the institution of the monarchy down to the gutter. It's a great shame that he did it for his own fame and fortune. But this seems to be his operas is a hot Pris Morandi at the moment. Same with the surfing pictures. Look, I am out there. I'm relevant. Look at me. Look at me. Stop it, please. Just get on with some work. Do something. Make a difference.
I know. And I think the thing that I find completely unforgivable about that book, because, yeah, he clearly regrets it, Calvin, because he's releasing the paperback this year with no updated chapters. Now, that doesn't happen when you have been given a multi-million-dollar deal from a major publisher. They demand new chapters.
Yeah, right.
So this is special treatment for Harry. He's realized he pushed it too far. But the problem is, and this is where I will never forgive him, Calvin, well, the Queen, the late Queen, isn't around, and your beloved grandfather, Prince Philip, isn't around to actually see you repent.
Okay.
They died in the knowledge that you were literally going out on a grand scale to try and prove that the institution that they had moved into the modern era with the creation of the Commonwealth was racist.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
And no matter what anyone tries to say close to Harry, I have spoken to so many people close to the royal family who say Harry's behavior absolutely put pressure on the late Queen in her dying months.
What do you mean by that?
Now, probably not so much Prince Philip, because we know he's the type of guy to roll with the punches. But the fact that Harry and Meghan still went ahead with their Oprah Winfrey interview, knowing that Philip had just been rushed into hospital. I know, Calvin, you're probably going to say, well, we have to forgive. But I find that very difficult to forgive, if I'm honest.
Yeah, we do have to forgive, but they have to repent. And I don't see them showing any contrition. I don't see them sorry for all this stuff. I see them doubling down and doing more of it more often than not. Actually, it is a great shame, and the way that the Queen was treated, not just by Prince Philip, but also by Meghan, especially, it was horrible. And of course, that adds on to what was going on elsewhere with the late Queen, late great Queen, when the state was oppressing her. That Prince Philip's funeral was that photograph will haunt our country for a generation. The late great Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II sat there by herself in Westminster Cathedral, Westminster Abbey, with the face mask on, mourning the loss of her lifelong husband and partner. Because we were not letting anyone go within 3 meters of each other because of a tyrannous, ridiculous government. It's just disgusting. All of it. There's no way to end one of the greatest reigns that our country has ever seen.
No, she died at a really disappointing time in history, actually. But I do think, at least, hopefully, she died in the knowledge that the public had turned on Harry and Meghan and that they were not believing the claims that they were making. Now, of course, we're speaking about the Trumps, Calvin, and I just cannot get over the brilliant footage of you with the Donald this week on your birthday on stage. Which state were you in, Calvin?
Good question.
That was in Atlanta, in Georgia.
In Atlanta, Georgia. Yes. And so talk to me about the mindset of the Donald. This was obviously a religious event, but was he aware that you were British, for example? Because there's so much interest, I guess, in terms of how Trump is going to deal with a two-tier care administration. I saw Donald Trump Jr. lash out at what was going on in the UK.
Let me put it in a language you can understand.
Just this week.
Oh, yeah. So I won't say what he said to me on a one-to-one level because I believe in trust, and I didn't say I was there as a journalist. I was there to pray for and with him. But what I will say is that I did tell him that I was from England, and I told him of the dire straits of the United Kingdom at the moment, and that we are all looking at America and hoping that he gets in because it will make a difference for all of us. It's so important. And I will say that he understood that.
Are you serious?
And on the stage, just before that moment where he saw me dancing, he was talking about his faith journey. And he was answering questions that I haven't actually seen him answer before publicly. So that was very good. But he was telling us how he came to believe in Christ, how he was raised a Christian. He was telling us that how important his faith is and what it meant to him having almost been assassinated. And what it meant for him going forward in politics and how he was going to govern, essentially, if he gets back in. And all of it showed me that he has a humanity that he doesn't always show publicly. He has a level of personality that, obviously he's got a lot of charisma, but behind that there is a very real human being who has been on a journey, and I think this time around is going to make much more of an impact than he did last time, and for the better.
And where are you going to be watching the election results, Calvin?
I don't know yet. I honestly don't know, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I do know that I'm going to have a live stream on lotuseaters.com, so that should be good fun.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, excellent. Well, we'll definitely be tuning into that.
Good job.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes.
We don't do that here.
Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.